Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Freak Show. Of course, I'm Mary Girl Moody, and this is Cooksy. Mwah. Go lay down, baby. Go get in your bed. Go get in your bed, and I'll give you more turkey. That's what I'm looking forward to. He's looking for more turkey. So sorry, guys. So glad to have all of you here. I apologize. This live stream will not be as long tonight, but I'm a little under the weather, so I apologize. I just want to say, Blaze, thank you so much for becoming another member again. You are so sweet. I know, baby. You go lay down. You go lay down. Good boy. Thank you again, Blaze, very much. I sincerely appreciate you so much. Guys, if you would like to help out the channel, you are certainly welcome to. You can like, you can subscribe, and if you would like to take it another step further, you can certainly donate to the channel via super chats, subscriptions, and things such as that. There's also a Patreon. So thank you all so much for being here. As usual, what we're going to do is we're going to wait just about 5 minutes before we get into the movie to make sure it gives people time to get here. And don't forget too that this is a spoiler stream. So if you have not watched Final Destination Bloodlines, you should not watch this stream until you've watched the movie. And trust me, this is a movie that you want to see. Now, before we get too much into this, of course, I want to let you guys know that this is another movie that was really fantastic. It's going to get a 10 out of me as usual, because when I say as usual, I mean for good movies. There's only been a few coveted movies in the ones that I've watched recently that have gotten a 10, such as like The Substance, that's gotten a 10. Sinners has gotten a 10. And I know one more movie has received a 10, but not all of them that we have reviewed have gotten them. This one gets it. So 100%, if you have not watched Final Destination Bloodlines, just go watch it. Go spend the $20 rental on Amazon and watch it, okay? Or wherever it's on a platform for you. I'm not sure if it's even out yet on Netflix or anything like that, because I paid for it. I paid to watch it. So, yeah. It was absolutely worth it. So please do not continue in this stream if you haven't watched Final Destination Bloodlines. Again, this is a fantastic movie. This is one. Oh, Blaze, I just saw it right here. So it's on Max. So it's on HBO Max. So again, guys, replay gang, you wonderful people out there that go back and replay, leave now and go watch it on Max if you have Max. And if you don't, it should be for purchase, for rent or something on Amazon Prime, because again, that's where I got it. So check it out. It is absolutely worth the money. This is one of the movies too where I'm very disappointed that I didn't get either a digital copy or a physical copy. I've seen too many terrible movies to know not to buy them first. I just don't do that anymore. I will just pay $20 to watch it. And if it's worth it, I'll get a physical copy. But if it's not, I'm glad I just paid a few bucks to watch it at home for no problem. Okay. This is one of the movies where I was like, damn, I wish I owned it, a physical copy. I wish I had a physical copy right now to put into my collection. And I don't, because it's just that good. And again, I usually don't say that about a lot of these new movies, about a lot of movies. But as a lot of you have said, it's almost become the golden era for horror movies right now. There have been so many fantastic horror movies within the past 2 to 3 years that have really revived the genre with new ideas and new scares. And oh yes, Weapons. I believe Weapons was another one that I gave a 10 for as well. So yes, okay. Cooks, go lay down, sweetie. You go lay down. Good boy. Okay, so before we start getting into Final Destination Bloodlines, Blaze says, hi, Mary. Hi, Blaze. He says, I'm currently watching Stand By Me. Amazing movie, by the way. Absolutely. I saw that movie a long time ago. If that's the one you're talking about with River Phoenix and Corey Feldman and little Will Wheaton, yes, absolutely. 100%. It is a fantastic movie. The short story, I believe it's called The Body by Stephen King, is even better. But yes, very good. Blaze also says, loved Final Destination Bloodline so much. If you guys have actually watched it and you're in the comments right now, let me know what your rating is as well. White Bear Production says, franchise is back. Yes, absolutely. Blaze says, I heard they're making a 7th. I want a water park opening scene. Yeah, right. Blaze says, I'll own Megan 2.0 on Thursday. That would be so great. Blaze also says, I want the steel book for Final Destination Bloodlines. Yep, I know, right? There's only a certain amount of movies that I'll get a steel book for, but this one I would absolutely do it if I was able to. Russell, so glad for you to be here. Hello, little sweetie. Blaze says, lots of great horror movies this year. Absolutely. I approve Buffy. Oh, Buffy DeVille? Message Mary. Everybody is giving it absolutely a 10 out of 10 in the comments. So, okay, let's dive into Final Destination Bloodlines. The movie opens in the best opening. I have to say, I believe the first movie, in my honest opinion, had the best opening because it was so genuine. It was the first movie. We kind of knew what to expect by the trailer. However, when you're actually there and you're sitting in the movie theater and you are experiencing this for the first time, it was so impactful. It was extremely good. And I understand 2, 3, 4, 5 were also had really good openings with the race car and of course the wood timbers. There's so many great other openings, but just in my opinion, for the first 5, number 1 had the best. So in my opinion, this one for Final Destination Bloodlines, which is part 6, this has to be the best opening now out of any of the Final Destination Bloodline, or out of the entire Final Destination piece. It starts with 2 people. Okay, we have Lillian and we have her fiance. They're going up to the Skyview, which is a brand new tower that has just opened up. It's kind of like the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, except when you go up, there's a big round restaurant up there. And I believe they've done that. They've changed the Stratosphere. Last time I was up there, it was like an observatory, and you could ride the ride up there. So I don't know if it's the same. However, that is moot. Just think of the Stratosphere in Las Vegas when you think of the Skyview Tower. So they go up there. The boyfriend proposes to Lillian. She is, I want to say Lillian so much that's her name, but I think Brett's character, I know it was an L, maybe it was just Lily, but I swear it's Lillian. So if I get it wrong, I apologize. I don't have notes for this one because it was so easy for me to remember this movie. Oh, and before we continue too, guys, let me know what your favorite death was in the comments. Just let me know which one. I know it's hard to pick, but if you could maybe give me your favorite and then an honorable mention, I would be very grateful. Okay, so they go to the top of the Skyview. However, the person that guaranteed the boyfriend's reservation is no longer working there. So the maitre d' just like shoves them away. So Lillian suggests they go to the bar and they just relax for a minute. So they go upstairs to the observatory. And while Lillian is in the bathroom, or before she tries to make it to the bathroom, doesn't make it. She's pregnant, obviously. And there's this beautiful singer with her little boy son that works there. She works there at the Skyview Tower. And she's like, how many months along are you? Because she obviously knows she has a child. And she's like, no, I'm not pregnant. Well, actually, I'm maybe like a month or 2. So anyway, so they exchange these really little sweet words. You see the little boy, and I'm not going to lie, my first instinct is that I bet that's Tony Todd as a child. And since this is a spoiler discussion chat, Iris, thank you. It was Iris. Thank you, Iris. I can't believe I couldn't remember that. Thank you so much, Russell. I really appreciate it. And Blaze said, opening number 2 scared me so much when I first saw it. I know, right? Because so many people are like driving on the roads, and you know how many times, especially when you live in rural areas like in Texas, where they absolutely do have a lot of transport, things like that, it's very scary. So thank you for reminding me that this is Iris. So, yeah, that's little Tony Todd. That will absolutely be a nice little spin at the end. I was waiting for that, and it happened. It was a beautiful little moment. But so they have this little exchange, and then the boyfriend takes Iris up to the top deck and proposes to her. And at this time, obviously, there's so many little things that are happening that is coming, that is indicating that death is coming for them. Iris accepts his proposal, tells him she's pregnant too, and he's overjoyed. He's so happy, excited, and they're going to get married. So they go downstairs and they're ready to dance. One of the little things that has happened is this moronic little boy is throwing pennies off of the edge of the Skyview Tower from the top. I'm not sure if it's really true that if you throw a penny off the sort of the building that you could injure somebody like that. But if it is, I've never done that, but that's what they tell the little boy to stop. And he's like, yeah, right. So he throws another penny off and magically gets sucked into a vent, goes and stops one of the little air vents from moving. When it finally starts spinning again, one of the little fan pieces spit off and cut into a gas pipe. The gas starts seeping into the whole Skyview Tower where chefs are flambeing stuff, and there's little fires going on everywhere due to the cooking, which is just natural. And then you have a waiter who popped the cork on a champagne bottle. It hit one of the chandeliers. One of the had like a sharp end at it. It fell, cracked a little piece into the glass that is the dance floor, which, okay, I get you want to have a dance floor that's like maybe 100 stories up in the air or whatever, how high it is. I like the idea, but this is the 60s, and it just, I don't know how they could think the construction would be safe enough for this. But if it just takes one little hard hit from a little piece of metal to break it, and all these people dancing on it to crash it out, it obviously wasn't very stable, but that's how it goes. They're dancing to shout. Iris and her new fiance are excited. Everybody's dancing, and they're all jumping up on the glass dance floor until it breaks out from underneath them. And Iris has kind of had a little premonition, so she stepped back. She has had a premonition, like seeing things, but she just saw glass kind of crackling underneath her. So she stepped back from it. And before she could get her fiance, it fell out. And her fiance, even though he's trying to hold on, he falls down. And he crashes up against one of the little supports and obviously dies when crashing down to the bottom. So this just starts a whole, a big spiral into a whole bunch of deaths. And it's fantastic. This opening scene has to be one of the most tense and vibrant opening to Final Destination movies ever, because it just starts this spiraling event of everybody is now panicking. Those who fell through the glass, people that have survived, they're looking down and like, oh my God, and now they're trying to reach the exits. There's stairs, obviously, and there's an elevator. So when they try to go down the stairs, a piece falls off. And only this little boy who was the one who threw the penny is the one that makes it. But don't worry, he gets his end at the bottom. So, and then of course, all the people trying to get the elevator. And when they do that, it's overloaded with too many people. So it drops the elevator. And when it does, this snotty Major D is in between the elevator doors. So half of him gets crumped, cut in half. So the other half goes with the elevator. And the other half stays and just crumbles. It's just this big bloody mess. It was fantastic. I'm sorry, guys. I swear, only about movies am I this joyous about murder. Other than that, true crimes, anything, no. I'm crossing myself. I'm saying prayers. I'm like, this is horrible. But this is why I enjoy these movies, because I can laugh and clap at those things. And yes, that's what I did. But why a glass dance floor? I know, right? I understand it's innovative, but this is the 60s, baby. So, I mean, construction really wasn't that fantastic. And so many fires that happened in buildings back then, I just don't understand. Anyway, So this also causes people to start running around. And when that happens, they knock over a lot of the chefs that are working with the flambés, and it knocks them towards the gas and sets things on fire, and things blow up. So a lot of people are dead from the fire explosion, but the other half have survived, and they're somehow trying to get out, but there's really no way to get down at this point. And so that is when the entire circle restaurant and bar breaks in half, and one half breaks off. And a lot of people at like this one penny that this boy throws off of the building has made so many travels than what normal pennies would. It's a bit of a plot hole. However, I appreciate it. It's at the ending credits. It's like this, and it's in the last piece of the movie. So I get it, but damn, this penny has been through so much. So it's off the fan. It started the fire, and now this fucking penny is the half of the place is hanging off, all the other half is a little straight, and this penny falls on the freaking piano, knocks the piano over, and that's what breaks off the other half, and the people who were stuck there fall to the ground. And the little boy who was like get out, the piano falls on him and just instantly squashes him and kills him. So I was pretty happy with that little snot-nosed little prick. It's just a little jerk. His parents should have busted his ass before. And this is the 60s. This was the time where parents beat the shit out of their kids. And obviously this did not happen to this kid. I can't believe it. Missed opportunity. So that is when Iris sees this little boy come out of this little cooler, this little metal cooler. And his mom had put him in there before the fire had exploded. And so she gets to him, but sadly, the rest of the building falls away. And she is only caught by 2 pieces of rebar that are going through her finger and like holding on by like her engagement finger. And so her skin starts to peel off and her finger comes down and they fall to their death. And she gets impaled through the mouth when she falls down. It was awful. And that is when one of our main characters wakes up, and she has been having this nightmare for about 2 months, the same dream where Iris is up there, and yeah, the whole thing happens. She keeps having that same dream about the sky view every single time. Okay. She has a little brother and she has a dad, and her mom, Darlene, has been out of the picture for a long time. So she goes home to try to find out what the origin of the dream is, because she knows this could be about her grandmother, Iris. So when she goes home, she discovers that a lot of her family doesn't like Iris. They think that she's crazy. Her uncle Howard doesn't want to really talk about her, but much to her aunt's dismay, she does give Iris's granddaughter, I'm sorry, her name, darn it. This is what I get for not having notes. But anyway, the daughter who's been having a dream, she goes to see Iris, and Iris is like, you're my she only gets to see Iris through telling her that she's her granddaughter. So anyway, she goes and she sees her, and she's like, okay, look, she tells Iris she tells the granddaughter about what happened that night, that when the boyfriend was proposing at the top of the sky view, that's when she like woke up from her premonition and went downstairs and told everybody to get off the dance floor, and she saved a lot of lives that night. But then it was after that she realized that everybody that she saved went on to like have families and move on, have a life where yet they weren't supposed to. And so she's tracking them and discovering that they are all being murdered in these weird, strange little accidents, rare moments. So she's tracking it, and she's trying to give it to her granddaughter, letting her know that, look, I'm about to, I have cancer. I'm about to die. Death has been looking for me since I saved everybody that night. So when I die, y'all are going to be next. My bloodline is going to be next. And that meant the girl's mother her uncle, her brother, her cousins, and everything. So, but only like the bloodline, her father and her aunt, since they are not blood related to Iris or to the actual or to Iris's children, then they're safe. But it's everybody who's actually related to Iris, blood related, that death is coming for them. Debbie! So glad to have you here, Debbie. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I love you and I miss you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's move on to the granddaughter's like, you're crazy. I don't believe you. This is crazy. But Iris is living actually by herself in this one log cabin for 20 years where she has escaped death for this amount of time. However, now she has cancer and she does not have long to live. Excuse me. So the cancer, excuse me, death is coming for her by way of cancer. I'm sipping on a little Coca-Cola. So she wants her granddaughter to know how to beat death at this point and how to survive. And at this point, the granddaughter's like, look, I'm sorry I came to visit you. Sure, death is coming for us. But that is when Iris is like, take a step back. The granddaughter's like, why? And she's like, because seeing is believing. And there were some little obvious things that were happening when the granddaughter came to visit Iris. A fire extinguisher that was outside fell and landed on a certain way and broke. There we go. There we go. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. That was my computer or my internet. I think my internet might be a little low. I sincerely apologize. Let me let you guys know to hang on because, yeah, I'm coming right back. I'm so sorry. Let me just go on ahead and let me just Penny. No. Thankfully, no. No, I do have a lot of pennies, literally right there at my eyesight. It's pretty creepy. So, okay, we're back. I'm so sorry, guys. That was creepy. I don't know what that was. I think my internet just went low for a minute. I don't know. So anyway, Iris tells her granddaughter to step back because seeing is believing. And when the granddaughter steps back, that's when death hits a lightning strike on the top of the house, knocks something down to hit the fire extinguisher that blows through Iris' head right in front of her granddaughter. So, yeah, it's just like, okay. I mean, maybe the granddaughter could have just believed Iris, but I mean, she took a hit for the team to show her granddaughter that she wasn't fucking around. Now, the granddaughter, and again, I apologize, the granddaughter, I'm calling her the granddaughter because I can't remember her name. You guys, I'm sure, will let me know in the comments and I will correct myself. I just remember Howard and Darlene. So, yeah, and her brother Chris. And then, of course, her three cousins. So, yeah, anyway, Erik and Chris is her brother. And then, Jessica is her cousin, too. And then she's got a little brother. Anyway, so, here we go. So the granddaughter is basically not traumatized after this and nobody's crying. However, she starts looking through Iris's book that she had of Stefani. Thank you, Stefani. I can't believe I didn't remember that. Thank you so much, Russell. I really appreciate you having my back. So Stefani is looking through Iris's book and she starts piecing things together. However, I don't know why Iris really wanted to help her family. Why didn't she leave them a cheat sheet? Why didn't she just write in the front, I've been trying to escape death for 20 years because I escaped death before, because I knew what was going to happen at the Skyview. excuse me, I saved a lot of people. So death is now coming for me and is going to reclaim you too after it has reclaimed me because none of us were supposed to live. By the way, here's how you can beat death because my friend JB did it. And here's how I've been doing it. And here's how this other person did it. They legally went dead. And I mean, why wouldn't you have went that route instead of just leaving all of these newspaper clippings that literally wouldn't prove anything to anybody? I mean, I don't know if maybe that would have proved it either, but still, I don't understand. If you're trying to save your loved ones and you're trying to give them a message, why don't you just write it out plain as day so they'll know what they're dealing with, so they'll know you're not nuts. I mean, at least you can, they don't have to figure it out and then get it wrong. I mean, I don't understand. So, okay. Go on, sweetheart. You go lay down. I know. I'll give you some turkey if you go lay down. Go lay down, sweetie. Go lay down, Cooks. Cooks, go lay down. Come on. I'll give you turkey. Go lay down. Go lay down, Cooks. Okay, good boy. I know I got to bribe him with turkey in order to get him to do things, but he's still a very good puppers and he knows how to play me. So, okay. So basically that's what Stefani explains to every baby. Come on, go lay down. You're not getting any turkey. You won't get turkey. Nope, no turkey. Go lay down. Go lay down and you'll get turkey. Cooks, go lay down. Good boy. Thank you, Russell, Stefani, Charlie, Darlene, Erik, Julia, Bobby, Uncle Howard, Marty, and Aunt Brenda. Thank you. Iris and Paul. Thank you. Guys, I'm so sorry. This was just such a good movie. I didn't need to write down notes. So I apologize. I guess now I know I should have. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to leave this on the screen so that way we'll know who we're talking about right now. Okay. Okay, so nobody really believes Stefani at this point. She tries to explain it to the entire family, but nobody believes her that they're on death's hit list or anything that. You were so sweet. Yes, thank you, Russell. You were so kind. Thank you. So they, again, don't believe her. So everybody leaves. And that is when that night Erik is closing. Or no. Sorry. That is when the backyard barbecue happens. That is when everybody in the backyard, after Iris has passed away and it's her funeral, we're all getting together. Everybody that you see right here on this, on the names on the thing, okay? They're all there. And death is ready because he made, I think it's Bobby, drop a glass and so close to the ice that a big chunk of glass is like sticking out of the ice that they have in this little bar area. They have a really beautiful, nice backyard setup. I'm not going to lie. That's like goals. So they've got like this huge backyard barbecue thing going where we're just not talking a grill. We're talking a bar, a full set up bar with blenders, grills. Just think of the richest smoothie shit that you can think of and put it in this movie. And that's what you got. So we have a rake under the trampoline. We have so many different things that are going on in this backyard. And we're just waiting for death to claim one of these motherfuckers that are on the screen right now. And it finally happens when Uncle Howard is jumping on the trampoline and kind of like falls through a little bit. But when he comes off, he steps on the glass. And I guess like somebody knocked a beer over and it started the water. And because of the water hose starting up, it moved the rake and the rake started the mower. And the mower went and started once Howard fell over with the cut in his leg and then the mower ran over his head. I mean, you'd have to see it. There's just so much shit that comes together to make this happen. It's actually kind of inventive in a way, but a little unnecessary. But it was still pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It kept you on edge the whole time of like, who's gonna drink that ice? Because it definitely showed you that somebody there got the ice that has the glass in it. That has this huge chunk of glass. And I'm thinking Evil Dead, Evil Dead Rise, whenever the daughter ate glass and she has a big shard sticking out of her neck. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's probably what's going to happen right here or something. Not at all. It was pretty fantastic, I have to say. That barbecue scene was pretty great. Though, again, still nobody really believes Stefani. They think it's just all weird coincidences. And then that night, Erik goes to work and he's forced to close the place down. And of course, Death is there waiting for him. Death is knocking over disinfectant bottles. The place has a really cool fan up top with chains like intersecting at the top to where the fan is. And then the fan is hitting the chain. The chain comes down, hooks onto the brothers' septum piercing. Baby, you go sit down. Mommy can't think. All I'm thinking about is how cute you are. Go lay down. Good boy. Go lay down. Thank you. All I'm thinking about is how cute you are. So the chain comes into his deviated septum, locks in, and then the chain starts coming up because he is so crazy right now. I don't know what my dog is doing, but he's crazy right now. I'm so sorry that he keeps distracting me. I don't know. He's getting no turkey. So I'm just kidding. I'm going to give him turkey. He's such a good boy. So then the chain starts pulling him up, and it's pulling him up by his nose. And oh my God, he is just stepping on everything, trying to get up closer and closer and closer. And because the music is bouncing so hard, it knocks something over and it sparks a fire. So now Erik is trying to escape the fire and get his nose undone from the chain. And then finally, when he does get his nose unhooked, he falls down into the fire and he has a heart actually burned onto his arm. It's actually pretty good. I screamed, just take the nose ring off. I know, right? Okay, so yeah, I hear you there. But anyway, so the next morning, Stephanie's worried, and Charlie agrees to go with her to go see if they can find Erik because nobody has heard from him since that night. And they find him, and Eric's like, no, I'm fine. I didn't die. I survived. I had a nice leather coat on that protected me from the fire. So I'm good. I just got the burn from when I landed. And that's it. And that kid is lucky. And so, of course, Stefani is like, I don't understand. You should be dead right now. Why didn't death take you? And that's when Erik is telling her, because this is all bullshit. There is no death coming for us. So when they're walking down the street, Stefani is like, okay, be careful of that tree cutter. Be careful of those kids. And Erik is like, what do you think is going to happen? And that's whenever Stefani says, well, okay, so what if that falls over, scares the guy who's blowing leaves and goes into the eyes of the kids and you get hit in the head with a ball? And that's when Erik says, ooh, I'm going to die by getting hit in the head with a ball. How spooky. And that's whenever, of course, Julia comes out. She's about to go out on a little run. The trash people come to pick up the trash. And Stephanie's like, don't come near this thing. But Erik starts licking and kissing on the trash dump thing. And I'm like, dude, seriously, there is such a thing as bacteria. I mean, why don't you just eat dirt instead if you want to have a good immune system? That was disgusting. I thought that was the most disgusting part of the movie when he was looking on the dump truck. I was like, watch, he's gonna get some kind of disease and die from that. That would be so cool. Who the fuck with a dump truck? Anyway, so Julia starts running away, and you see behind where, of course, Erik and Charlie and Stefani are talking, you see Julia running down. You see the tree trimmer fall over. You see the guy get distracted by it, blow the leaves into the face of the kids. The kids hit the ball at Julia's head, and she falls over into the trash receptacle and is immediately picked up by the dumpster and locked into the dumpster. And they all start oh my God, Julia. So they start running after her. Erik and Charlie are trying to get the driver to stop, but he's listening to Katy Perry and enjoying himself and his life too much, which, I mean, same. You're a dump truck driver. You enjoy your life. Live the best life you can. Right on. So they can't get him to stop it. And when he finally does, Stefani climbs up there and tries to save Julia. However, the thing is compacted and Julia dies being squashed, like half of her face and like one of her arms is the only thing that existed. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That was a great little scene, too. So now everybody is realizing, okay, Stefani is really onto something here. We are fucked. We have to escape death. So the whole thing is solved about Erik because that's whenever Aunt Brenda actually confesses that her and her husband Howard were actually like they were on a break, okay, guys. And so she had a little affair and got pregnant. And when they got back, she got back with Howard. He didn't care and raised Erik as his own. So that's why death skipped Erik. So they decided that there is somebody, JB, who has survived, who that's noted in Iris's book. So they're going to go find him, and it narrows down. They narrow it down to a hospital that is about an hour away, and they're going to go check it out. And everybody just decides to go, just all be safer in numbers. So, Cooksy, stop it! What are you doing? It's like going crazy. I don't know what he's doing. He's like getting on my bed and trying to get stuff off the top. I don't have any turkey up there. I got a little turkey for dinner for my kids. I just had a little bit, but I got them like 3 pounds of it. And so they ate a bunch. So I came up here with like just a little turkey sandwich, gave him a tiny bit of it. And now he thinks there's turkey up on top of the bed. And he's trying to get up there to see if he could get some. He's just going crazy. I'm so sorry. He's a little distracting. So they're at the hospital, and that's whenever they meet JB, who is Tony Todd in his last role ever. Oh, rip Tony Todd. God, I love that guy. So Stefani, Charlie, Darlene, Erik, Bobby, they're there, and they talk to JB, and he basically tells them, look, you're fucked. Okay, I'm dying too of cancer. Death is coming for me. So it'll come for me after it's done with Iris's bloodline, and that's you guys. So he basically tells them that there's no other option. They either have to murder somebody and take the time that person has left in order to survive, or they have to basically die and come back to life in order to escape death. Okay, that's it. However, Stefani cannot accept this. Stefani is still looking around for an answer whenever Erik is like, no, look, he gave us the answer. Stop freaking out. We know what to do. We've got to kill Bobby. We got to kill his brother. And so everybody was kind of arguing about it. So while Stefani, Charlie, and Darlene were kind of like talking and saying that they're all going to be there for each other, they're all going to protect each other, that's whenever Erik and Bobby kind of like step off just a little bit, and they're in a hospital. And that's when Erik convinces Bobby, because Bobby has a severe nut allergy. He convinces him to take a bite of a Reese's peanut butter patty. And they're in a hospital, and to let him legally die. And then they're right there in a hospital. He'll let the hospital team resuscitate him. They figure nothing can go wrong, of course. So, yeah, death is ready for them, of course. It totally starts by Erik trying to buy the peanut butter cups from the vending machine. They can't get it out. They're knocking it, and it causes the spring of the peanut butter cup to come out in a crack form on the front of the vending machine. So they go into this room, and they think, I guess they think it's a patient room, but how could they not know it was an MRI or a CT scan room? Because the machine's right fucking there. Anyway, due to their stupid actions, they turn on the CT scan accidentally, or death does. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody does it. And then, of course, it all starts powering up. And during this time, Erik and Bobby, Bobby is really scared. And Erik's like, no, dude, this is the best. I'm not going to let you die. We're here in a hospital. This is the best time, the best place. We're going to have you dead and then bring you back to life. So he takes Bobby's EpiPen. I mean, they're ready. They are about to do it. And right as Bobby takes the bite of the peanut butter cup, we see that the actual CT machine, or just the machine itself, is really starting to power up hard. It's getting past the regular limit that is needed for a normal scan. So right as Bobby eats, nothing happens. And Erik is like, don't tell me you grew out of this or something like that. But when he turns back around, Bobby is having a reaction. And of course, Erik, like a dumbass, won't give him the EpiPen. He's just watching his brother go into anaphylactic shock and is distracted when the machine hits the highest level that it has. And all of a sudden, Erik is attentive because his earrings and his nose ring are yanked out by the machine. And of course, as this is happening, we see other things in the hospital that are metal start coming to the room. And it's caught a nurse's attention. So Erik has many piercings. He has them in his nipples, and he has, I guess that's called a Prince Albert. I don't know, but he has one in his very private, sensitive male area. And yeah, the machine pulls that out too. Oh my God, it was so great. It was so great. Because when you just saw the nipple ones come out, and then just like few seconds later, you see it coming out. It's like, ah. It doesn't take the zipper from his from his jeans. I don't understand that, but it took his ring. That was so funny. And then it pulls the wheelchair that he had Bobby sitting in, because he thought it was just going to be easy to wheel him around the hospital instead of dragging him. But Bobby has fallen out of that wheelchair at this point, trying to breathe. And so the wheelchair comes behind Erik, knocks him into the CT machine, and sucks the wheelchair through Erik, through his body, into the machine. And the only thing that's left of Erik, he's like, you know, his back is bent backwards. His back is bent backwards. Wow, that really didn't make sense, but you get what I mean. Through the wheelchair and everything, but his hand is left out with the EpiPen, and Bobby tries to get to it. And finally he does, and gets himself with it so he can start breathing again. And that's when a nurse comes in, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And Bobby's like, "Yeah, I think so." And of course, that's when the spring from before comes magnetic out of the machine and goes through Bobby's head and kills him. And because the machine is running, the thing spirals through his head. Whoever did these, I mean, the people in this movie was just fantastic. This movie was fantastic. Every single, I don't even think, if this were dead meat, I don't even think I could give a golden chainsaw to anybody, because the deaths were still just so outstanding. So after Erik and Bobby are dead, that's whenever, you know, Stefani, Charlie, and Darlene decide that the only safe place at this point is Iris's house. So they decide that that's where they're going to go. Darlene gets in the freaking RV, and when she gets out of the hospital parking lot, she doesn't look both ways before she turns. Like a dumbass. And of course, she's almost hit by, you know, a garbage truck, I believe. So she decides her daughter should drive instead. So anyway, they get to Iris's house, and of course, Death knows that they're there. There is something at Iris. There's like a light up above that's sparking. So when they get there, there is like something falls down and breaks Stefani's seatbelt, so she can't get unclicked. But she tells her brother not to worry about her, take their mother into the cabin, because if their mother is safe, Stefani will be safe. So once they get right up to the front of the cabin, that's whenever a piece of the ash that's coming from the top comes into the house. And I guess like Death had turned on the gas at this point too. So Darlene pushes Charlie out of the way because the house explodes, and it knocks the RV over and into this pond that is there for no reason. I never thought I saw that pond there the first time, but all of a sudden there is a pond there now. Convenience? Probably. So Stefani is basically drowning. Erik is under this big piece of wood, and Darlene saves him. She's still alive. And she tells Charlie, "Go save your sister. Don't worry. I'm going to stay alive as soon as I can, as long as I can." But she doesn't, because the telephone pole falls and squashes her, and she's dead right in front of her son. Poor Charlie. So he goes and he tries to save his sister, but he really can't. So finally, at one point, he manages to get her out. I mean, sadly, she has been in the water, and she has got so much water in her lungs that she has passed out. So Charlie gets her out, begins CPR, and she starts breathing again. And that's whenever Charlie's like, oh my God, I saved you from death. We did it now. That's why. So we escaped death. We've escaped death. Yay. So now it's like a few months later and it's Charlie's prom. And of course, that's whenever the freaking dad of Charlie's date comes to put a dump of shit on them, basically. He tries to tell Charlie, yeah, you did a great job. And Stefani was like, yeah, he saved me from death. And the dad is like, eh. And Stefani's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you weren't technically dead. You didn't stop breathing. You just had water in your lungs. But isn't that the same? I don't know. So anyway, that's whenever that fucking penny, which has been picked up by an elderly lady way beyond at this point, she goes to buy a cookie at this place. And when she pays for it, that penny drops out, of course, goes this very long distance and stops a railroad track from being able to cross and derails it. And Stefani and Charlie are killed in a badass way by logs. So it's basically number 2, the way they were killed. Ah! Dude. Yeah. And I thought, okay, so the reason why now Erik was killed is because JB told them that death didn't like to be fucked with. And if anybody interfered with death, it would get messy. And because Erik interfered with death, that's why he died via the chair and the magnet and everything. So yeah, that is why he died. So yeah, only Kimberly and the cop guy says, I think I missed something. You have to flatline. Exactly. You have to flatline. So yeah. That little penny had, and of course, freaking Iris had saved that penny and had it taped in her book. So whenever Stefani was moving around and had that book everywhere, the penny fell out. And of course, an elderly lady, someone who, or is like a coin collector like me, you see an old penny on the ground, you're going to pick it up. I do that all the time, actually. I have a big coin collection. So yeah, then that's how the penny got back to them. So yeah, that penny cursed their damn family the whole way. Guys, I don't know which kill was the best or the worst. It was all so good. I have to say the opening, again, has to be the best opening that has ever been in a Final Destination franchise ever. And I think it was so clever. I really liked the last one that came out. Hang on one second. Where is my final? I don't have my Final Destinations over here. I thought I did, but I don't. The last one I thought was the best because it circled back around to number 1. So I was so worried about Bloodlines because they finally actually did a decent one for number 5. And then I hear Bloodlines and I'm like, oh God, no, please just let it rest. Unless you have a good idea, for God's sakes, let it rest. And I'm glad they didn't let it rest because, again, this was a phenomenal script, a good storyline. And yeah, sure, there were some plot holes. There was absolutely a little bit of plot holes. Like, why go back to Iris's house? Because Iris died there. Iris's house really wasn't safe. Iris died literally right on the front steps or right out front of it. So it couldn't have been that safe. They could have just picked a place out in the country, or they could have just taken a different way about it. So it just, to me, it didn't seem like that was the most obvious place. So seeing it that Iris died out there, I don't know. You guys let me know too what you thought about that. But yeah, Paul and Iris's opening story was just so fantastic. It was a long opening and it was great. And it wasn't anything, cheesy or unnecessarily gory. Like the racetrack one, that one was definitely a good opening as well. I really liked that movie. However, it seemed to me that the opening was gory just for the sake of gore, not for the sake of the horror that is supposed to come along with this event, that these people have sadly died in this massive public event. Because that's really the thing from the first one that I really love, that they actually made it a thing, because in this Final Destination movie in Bloodlines, people die left and right and nobody cares. I mean, they'll just move on the next day. It's not a problem. But in the first one, when the actual plane went down afterwards, everybody was so sad. I mean, the main character, he was severely affected mentally by that, as well as the rest of his classmates. And then when his best friend is murdered afterwards, he was so devastated by that. I mean, there were emotions in that movie that were very true, and that what made the tone so dark and scary, and what made the first one a success. However, it just seems like now that that part 2, 3, 4, and somewhat of 5, it's just really there for the gore factor, and it's not really for the fact that these people have died. And it's a horrible thing, and their families are left behind to absorb it and to know that they're no longer with the people that they love anymore. That's the true horror. And I love how number 1 really grasped that. But again, 2, 3, 4, and 5 were just like, oh my God, I saw my mom die right in front of me. Can I get an ice cream cone? It just didn't really make much sense. They just didn't have enough time for the emotion that should be in there. And again, that's what really made me love the first one so much. However, I get that 2, 3, 4, and 5 were really more commercial. So I get it. And I'm not going to lie. I'll still watch all of those. I still like all the Final Destination movies. They're my jam. But again, the first one, in my opinion, was the best, especially for that reason. But I got to say, now Bloodlines is definitely the number 1. It's really good. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Now, I see right here, let me know in the comments as well, guys, what you rate this movie. White Bear Production says 8 out of 10. Final Destination has been dormant for years, since 5. But with Bloodlines, it's definitely the coolest franchise comeback ever. Has flaws, but makes it still perfect as it is. Exactly. I agree. Definitely some plot holes in there. Definitely some things that could have been worked out, but it was the strongest one out of the entire franchise, in my opinion. Also, long live Tony Todd, the man behind Candyman, Bludworth, and many iconic roles. Yes, I know. I grew up with Tony Todd in the 90s. He did the remake, Tom Savini's remake of Night of the Living Dead. And that's how I really knew him first, was that way. And then because that came out in 92, and then Candyman came out in 93, or Night of the Living Dead came out in 91, the remake, and then Candyman came out in 92. Not sure, but I think that's the way I remember it. So I absolutely agree. We got one of his last roles. Fantastic. It has to be that this one, again, in my opinion, deserves a 10. And White Bear says 8. Thank you so much, White Bear, for letting me know what your opinion is. Blaze says number 3 is his favorite. Okay, not a problem. I would love to know why as well. Buffy DeVille, so glad to have you here, darling. Thank you. Says actor who played Alex, thank you, from the first movie, said he met with people to bring his character back, even though he was killed off screen. I would love to see Alex come back, because that's Devon Sawa. I know the actor. So yeah, absolutely. Blaze is giving this movie a 10. The Doll. Thank you, The Doll, for being here. And thank you for your opinion. They say, I hate Final Destination 4. Was that the one with the roller coaster? Because I agree. I don't think that one was so strong either. I agree. I didn't really like that one. Now, I will like, because I think number 2 was the logs. Number 3 was the fair, or not the fair, but maybe that was the roller. Number 3 was the roller coaster. Anyway, so yeah, absolutely agree with you. Some of them weren't really that great, but number 1 and number 6 are fantastic. Blaze says, I'm excited for the new Frankenstein just because of Mia Goth. I haven't seen the trailer yet or heard much of the news, but me too. Russell says 1 and 6 are tied. Ooh, I'm glad to know that for you. Blaze says, I just love the kills. And number 3, the tanning bed. Oh, that's the roller coaster one. Number 4 was the racetrack. Thank you. I agree. Number 4, the racetrack was I agree. And I have to say too, also because I remember in that one, the lady was killed by like the rock that in the lawnmower. And that's always been a huge fear of mine, seeing as that I mow my lawn all the time. I'm really afraid that I will miss a rock and it will go through somebody's window in the neighborhood and it will kill somebody like that for me. I don't want to do that. But I agree. The racetrack one really wasn't good. So Scream 7 can't wait for me. I know, right? I know. I'm very excited for Scream 7 too. Didn't they try to do a 3D one? I think that's what number 3 was post Final Destination 3 3D, something like that. I think that's what number 3 was. I'm not sure, but I could be wrong. But again, guys, yeah, I thought this was a fantastic movie. Great actors. I really love Breck. The chick who plays Iris at the beginning of the movie, I watched her as she came along as an actress. So to see her in this movie, to see her in Final Destination Bloodlines, I was so happy for her. Oh, thank you, Russell. 4 was the 3D. I did not know that. So, and the doll says Final Destination 7 is coming out May in 2027. I don't worry. We're going to see that too, guys. We're going to see it. We'll talk about it. Absolutely. But again, this was a fantastic movie. It was just so many great kills. So many. I understand there was a lot of like fake outs, but it was fun sometimes, being on so much of an actual like edge of your seat, wondering who's going to buy it next and how, because death has set up so many different things. So hello, Matthew. So great to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate it. What did you rate Final Destination Bloodlines? Now, guys, don't forget we're not going to be chatting on Monday. I have my daughter's birthday this weekend. She's going to be the big 1-9. So we're all very excited. We're going to have a great weekend with her. So I will not be live streaming on Monday. However, I will be back on Wednesday and we're going to be chatting about Nosferatu, the brand new Nosferatu. So yes, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about that. Matthew also rates this movie a 10 out of 10, definitely. And Blaze said that his favorite kill in this movie was the vending machine and the MRI. That's tough to beat. I have to say that's probably one of the best ones, especially whenever the piercings come out. It was just so great. That was like a chef kiss on top of the kill. It was so great. So absolutely. Oh, thank you, Buffy DeVille. I will let her know happy birthday. Thank you so much. I can't believe my oldest baby is 19, but she is. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll be back with you guys on Wednesday. We're going to cover Nosferatu. And if you enjoyed the stream, please thumb it up. I'd be very grateful. Subscribe if you'd like. And if you'd like to take it another step further, you can donate to the channel, super chats, become channel members, patrons, all that stuff. You definitely get special perks and privileges with that. So just thank you all so much for being here. I've seen so many great movies this year and it's been so fun talking to you guys about them and just like going over the kills, especially in this movie. This movie had the best kills out of any movie that has come out in the past 2 years. So yeah, me too, Blaze. I'm excited to see what they parody for the next scary movie. Guys, thank you again so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I love you all so much. And of course, beware of our chick, Sexy Scathich. She out there hunting for people for the Christmas holiday. She wants a man for her then. I love you guys. Bye.